The clinic smells like antiseptic and hope. Maya Torres sits in the waiting room of Chicago Memorial's bone marrow registry, filling out paperwork she barely understands. Question 17 asks about family history of blood disorders. She checks no and moves to 18. Her hand cramps around the pen. She's been holding it too tight for the past 20 minutes, gripping it like an anchor while her world quietly falls apart around her. Rent is due in 6 days. Her bank account holds $237. The electric company sent a final notice yesterday, and her student loans, those beautiful instruments of perpetual debt, just entered default for the 3rd time this year. But none of that matters right now. What matters is the small possibility that her cells might save someone's life. That somewhere in this massive, indifferent city, a person she'll never meet might get to wake up tomorrow because Maya Torres swabbed her cheek at a community center last spring and forgot about it until the registry called 3 days ago. The nurse, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and tired smile, appears in the doorway. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I love hearing from you. Maya Torres? Maya stands, her knees protesting. She's been on her feet for 8 hours at the diner, slinging coffee and eggs to people who don't tip and don't see her. Another double shift tomorrow. Then another. The math of survival never quite adds up. You understand this is just preliminary testing? The nurse says as Maya follows her down a corridor lined with motivational posters. Blood work to confirm compatibility, medical history review, that sort of thing. The actual donation, if you're a match, would be scheduled later. I understand. Have you donated before? No, first time. The nurse smiles. Most people never get called. The odds of being a match are about 1 in 430. So you're already pretty special. Maya doesn't feel special. She feels exhausted. But she smiles anyway because that's what you do when people are trying to be nice, even when your entire life is held together with duct tape and stubborn refusal to give up. The exam room is small, sterile, painted in that particular shade of beige that exists only in medical facilities. Maya sits on the paper-covered table while the nurse preps the blood draw equipment. 4 vials, the nurse explains. We're checking HLA markers, blood type, overall health indicators. Takes about a week to process. And if I'm a match, then we discuss next steps. The donation itself, the recovery, time commitment. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Most of the time, people get this far, and it turns out they're not quite compatible after all. The needle slides into Maya's vein with practiced precision. She watches her blood fill the first vial, dark red against the bright fluorescent lights. Somewhere in Chicago, someone is dying while their bone marrow fails to produce the cells that keep human beings alive. Maya tries to imagine them. A child, maybe, or an elderly person who's lived a full life. A mother with young kids. A father trying to hold his family together. It doesn't matter. They're human. They're dying. She's not. The nurse finishes, labels the vials with efficient movements, presses gauze against Maya's arm. You're all set. We'll call you either way. If you're not a match, we'll let you know within a week. If you are, we'll need to schedule follow-ups. Maya nods, accepts the information packet, the water bottle, the granola bar that constitutes aftercare for minor medical procedures. She leaves the clinic with a bandage in the crook of her elbow and 45 minutes to get across town for her night shift at Sacred Heart Pediatrics, where she works as a nursing assistant because a nursing degree costs money she doesn't have and probably never will. The train is packed. Evening rush hour in Chicago means bodies pressed together, the smell of sweat and perfume and urban exhaustion. Maya stands near the door, one hand gripping the pole, the other clutching her backpack that contains her scrubs, her phone with the cracked screen, and exactly 1 protein bar that'll serve as dinner. She doesn't let herself think about the testing, doesn't let herself hope. Hope is expensive. Hope requires energy she can't afford to waste. A week passes. Maya works. She serves coffee at Lou's Diner from 6 to 2, then changes into scrubs and pushes wheelchairs at Sacred Heart from 3 to 11. She sleeps when she can. She ignores the mounting pile of bills. She texts her mother in Phoenix and lies about how well things are going. Everything's great, she types. Work is good. Saving money. Might visit at Christmas. Her mother sends back heart emojis and doesn't ask questions because they both know the truth would hurt too much. On day 8, Maya's phone rings during her break at Sacred Heart. She's in the staff lounge, eating vending machine crackers and trying not to think about how her feet hurt. Unknown number, She almost doesn't answer. Hello? Is this Maya Torres? Yes. This is Dr. Rachel Kim from Chicago Memorial's bone marrow registry. We have your test results. Maya's heart does something complicated in her chest. A skip, then a pound, then a sensation like falling. And? You're a complete HLA match for our recipient. 10 out of 10 markers. That's extremely rare. She almost drops the phone. What does that mean? It means you're the best possible donor for this patient. With your permission, we'd like to move forward with the donation process. The patient's condition is critical. Time is essential. How critical? Dr. Kim's pause is careful, measured. Without a transplant in the next 3 to 4 weeks, the prognosis is terminal. You're not just a match, Miss Torres. You're this person's only real chance. The lounge suddenly feels too small, too bright. Maya's brain tries to process the information. A complete match. 1 in hundreds of thousands, 1 in millions. Someone's only chance. She thinks about the bills on her kitchen counter, the shifts she'll miss, the money she doesn't have. Then she thinks about a person she's never met, dying somewhere in this same city while their body betrays them cell by cell. I'll do it, Maya hears herself say. When do we start? The donation process is more complicated than Maya expected. Not the medical part, that she understands. Blood tests, physical exams, imaging. They need to confirm her bone marrow is healthy, that she can safely undergo the procedure. That part makes sense. It's everything else that feels surreal. Dr. Kim explains it all during their first consultation. The recipient needs preparation time, chemotherapy to destroy their diseased marrow, immunosuppression to prevent rejection. They're creating space for Maya's cells, making their body a hospitable environment for foreign tissue that will hopefully save their life. You understand you won't meet them? Dr. Kim says. Registry policy maintains donor and recipient anonymity for 1 year post-transplant. After that, both parties can choose to connect, but there's no obligation. That's fine. Maya means it. She's not doing this for gratitude. She's doing it because when the universe hands you the ability to save someone's life, and the only cost is discomfort and lost wages, you say yes. The medical appointments pile up. Blood work every 3 days. A full physical. Chest x-rays. An EKG to check her heart. Meeting with the anesthesiologist. Education sessions about the procedure, the recovery, the potential risks. Your insurance should cover most of this. The financial coordinator tells Maya during one appointment. There might be some out-of-network fees, but the registry has assistance programs. Maya nods. Doesn't mention she doesn't have insurance. She'll figure it out later. She always does. Between appointments, she works. The diner, the hospital. 8 hours here, 8 hours there. The occasional blessed overlap where she gets 5 hours of sleep. Her manager at Lou's gives. Her grief about the medical leave she'll need. 2 weeks? Maya, we're short-staffed as it is. I know. I'm sorry. Can you find someone to cover your shifts? I'll try. He doesn't look convinced. The schedule's already tight. If you're gone 2 weeks, I might not have a position when you get back. Maya feels something hot, an angry coil in her stomach. I'm donating bone marrow to save someone's life. That's real nice of you. But the diner doesn't stop running because you're feeling charitable. She leaves that conversation wanting to scream. Instead, she picks up an extra shift. 3 weeks before the donation, Maya gets called to Dr. Kim's office for what's supposed to be a routine check-in. But when she arrives, Dr. Kim isn't alone. There's a man in an expensive suit sitting in the chair beside the doctor's desk. Late 30s, dark hair, darker eyes. He looks like money, old money. The kind that comes with expectations and power, and the ability to make problems disappear. This is Mr. Castellano, Dr. Kim says. He's representing the recipient's family. Maya's instinct is immediate suspicion. Families with money hire lawyers. Lawyers complicate things. But she sits, because what else is she going to do? Miss Torres? The man begins. His voice is smooth, controlled. My name is Adriano Castellano. I'm here on behalf of the family of the patient you're helping. They wanted me to convey their profound gratitude. That's not necessary. I understand. But they wanted you to know how much this means. The patient is 7 years old. His name is Nico. Maya's breath catches. 7. She'd imagined adults. Someone old, maybe. Or middle-aged. Not a child. Not a little boy who should be playing soccer and reading chapter books and fighting with siblings. Nico was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia 18 months ago, Adriano continues. He's been through 3 rounds of chemotherapy. 2 relapses. His only option now is a bone marrow transplant. His parents searched everywhere. International registries. Private donors. You're the first and only complete match they've found. Maya feels something shift in her chest. The abstract concept of saving a life suddenly has a face. Not a face she's seen, but a presence. A 7-year-old boy named Nico who wants to live. The family wanted to meet you, Adriano says. But Dr. Kim explained that's against protocol. So they sent me instead. To say thank you, and to make sure you have everything you need. I don't need anything. Do you have insurance? Maya hesitates. The question is too pointed, too knowing. I'll manage. You shouldn't have to manage, Adriano says. This is his first display of something beneath the smooth exterior. Conviction. Steel. You're saving a child's life. That shouldn't cost you anything. I'm handling it. Miss Torres. Adriano leans forward. The family wants to cover your expenses. Medical costs, lost wages, anything you need. They want to make this as easy as possible for you. That feels wrong. Why? Because I'm not doing this for money. No one thinks you are. But practical reality matters. You're taking time off work. You're undergoing a medical procedure. There are costs associated with that. The family simply wants to remove those obstacles. Maya looks at Dr. Kim. Is this normal? It's not uncommon, the doctor says carefully. Many recipients' families offer to assist donors with expenses. It's appreciated, but not required. You're under no obligation to accept. But the alternative, Maya thinks, is going into debt for a procedure that benefits someone else. Missing 2 weeks of wages she can't afford to lose. Possibly losing her job at the diner entirely. She hates that money matters. Hates that doing the right thing comes with a price tag. But reality doesn't care about her principles. How much? She asks. Whatever you need, Adriano says. The family has resources. They're grateful. They want to help. Maya calculates in her head. 2 weeks of lost wages from both jobs, roughly $2,000. Plus whatever her share of the medical bills ends up being. Another 1,000, maybe 2. It feels like selling something that shouldn't have a price. But Nico is 7 years old and dying. And Maya Torres is tired of pretending that martyrdom pays rent. $4,000, she says. That covers my lost income and anticipated medical costs. Adriano doesn't blink. Done. The family will have a check prepared. You'll receive it before the donation date. Maya nods, feeling like she's made some kind of deal she doesn't fully understand. Later, after she's left Dr. Kim's office and is standing on the street corner waiting for the bus, she tries to process the entire conversation. Something about Adriano Castellano felt off. Not threatening, exactly, but significant, important, like he represented something much larger than just a grateful family. She pulls out her phone and texts her best friend, Jasmine. Met with the recipient's family today. 7-year-old kid with leukemia. God, Jas types back. That's heavy. You okay? Yeah, they offered to pay me. For lost wages and stuff. That's amazing though. Maya stares at the screen. Yeah, it is. But she can't shake the feeling that she stepped into something she doesn't fully understand. That Nico's family is more than just wealthy parents desperate to save their child. The bus arrives. Maya climbs on, finds a seat, and tries to ignore the knot of apprehension forming in her stomach. The donation is scheduled for a Monday morning in late October. Maya arrives at Chicago Memorial at 6 a.m., having not eaten or drunk anything since midnight per instructions. They prep her in a pre-op room. An IV in her left arm. Blood pressure cuff on her right. A nurse she recognizes from her shifts at Sacred Heart stops by. Maya, I didn't know you were a donor. You're amazing. Thanks, Sarah. The girl's maybe 22, fresh out of school. Still believes healthcare is about healing people rather than navigating insurance. Bureaucracies. How are you feeling? Nervous. That's normal. You're doing something incredible. Maya wishes she felt incredible. Mostly she feels anxious. The anesthesiologist arrives, explains the procedure again. They'll put her under general anesthesia, harvest the marrow from her pelvic bones. It takes about 2 hours. Recovery is usually a few days of soreness, managed with pain medication. You might feel tired for a couple weeks. Bone marrow regenerates, but it takes time. Your body's working hard to replace what we're taking. Sounds fun. The anesthesiologist smiles. You're brave for doing this. Maya isn't brave. She's just doing what feels right. Dr. Kim comes in last. Final check. Everything looks good. Your Marrow will be transported immediately to Nico's hospital. They're prepping him now. By this afternoon, your cells will be saving his life. The weight of that hits Maya like a physical force. Her cells, her bone marrow, the tissue that's been quietly existing inside her bones for 28 years. Suddenly the difference between life and death for a child she's never met. Ready? Dr. Kim asks. Ready, Maya lies. They wheel her into the operating room. Bright lights. The smell of disinfectant. Figures in surgical masks moving with practiced efficiency. The anesthesiologist slides something into her IV. Count backwards from 10, he says. 10, 9, 8. Darkness takes her. Maya wakes up in recovery. Her hips hurt. Not sharp pain, more like a deep ache that radiates down her legs and up her spine. Like someone took a hammer to her pelvis and then apologized by wrapping her in cotton. How are you feeling? A nurse asks. Sore. That's normal. We've got pain medication ready when you need it. Did it work? Did the Marrow get to Nico? The nurse smiles. Successfully transported. He received your cells about an hour ago. Now we wait and see how his body responds. Maya closes her eyes, lets herself feel it. The strange, profound knowledge that somewhere in this hospital, a 7-year-old boy is receiving her bone marrow. Her cells are entering his bloodstream, finding their way to his bones, beginning the slow work of regeneration. She doesn't believe in God, not really, but she prays anyway. Please let it work. Please let him live. Please let this be enough. Recovery is miserable. They keep Maya overnight for observation. The pain is manageable with medication, but moving is difficult. Everything hurts. Standing, sitting, lying down. The nurses are kind. They bring her water, adjust her pillows, assure her this is all normal. By afternoon, she's cleared to go home. You'll be sore for about a week, the discharge nurse explains. Take it easy. No heavy lifting. Stay hydrated. Follow up with your primary care physician in 2 weeks. Maya doesn't have a primary care physician. She nods anyway. Jasmine picks her up at 4 p.m. Arrives in her beat-up Honda with worried eyes and a bag of groceries. You look terrible, Jasmine announces. Thanks. That's what I was going for. I brought soup. And pain meds. And trashy magazines. Jasmine is the best friend anyone could ask for. They met working at the diner 5 years ago, bonded over terrible customers and worse tips. She's the only person in Maya's life who knows exactly how precarious everything is. How bad is it? Jasmine asks as they navigate hospital parking. Honestly, I feel like someone beat me with a bat, but it's worth it. A kid's life is worth being uncomfortable for a while. You're a better person than me. You'd do the same thing. Jasmine doesn't argue, but they both know it's not true. Maya has this thing inside her, this stubborn insistence on doing the right thing even when it costs her. It's gotten her into trouble before, probably will again. They arrive at Maya's apartment, a studio in a building that violates approximately 37 housing codes but costs $800 a month, which is the best she can afford. Jasmine helps her inside, gets her settled on the restless couch with pillows and blankets. I can stay tonight, Jasmine offers. I'm fine. You're not, but okay. Call me if you need anything. I mean it. Anything. I will. Thanks, Jess. After Jasmine leaves, Maya lies on her couch and stares at the ceiling. Her hips throb despite the medication. But all she can think about is Nico. 7 years old, somewhere in this city, fighting for his life with her cells as his only weapon. She hopes it's enough. God, she hopes it's enough. 1 week later, Maya is back at work. Still sore, but functional. The diner is exactly as she left it. Same sticky tables, same burnt coffee, same customers who don't tip. Lou is less than thrilled about her absence. You're lucky I didn't hire someone permanent, he grumbles. Next time you want to play hero? Give me more notice. There won't be a next time, Maya says. The odds of being a bone marrow match twice are astronomical. Whatever. You're on register today. Your feet aren't up to serving tables yet. It's a small mercy. Maya spends her shift taking orders, processing payments, and trying not to think about Nico. The registry doesn't provide updates, She won't know if the transplant worked for months. Maybe never, if he and his family choose not to make contact. That afternoon, if you're hooked on this story, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything and helps me bring you more emotional stories like this one. As Maya's shift ends, and she's counting her meager tips, a man walks into the diner. Not unusual. People walk into Lou's all day long. But this man is different. Expensive suit, dark hair, eyes that assess the room like he's calculating threats. He looks like he wandered in from a completely different universe. A universe where people don't eat at diners that smell like fryer grease and disappointment. Maya watches from behind the counter as he scans the space. Then his gaze lands on her. Recognition flashes across his face. He walks directly to the register. Maya Torres? Yes. Can I help you? My name is Dante Castellano. I'm Nico's father. The world tilts slightly. Maya grips the counter. You're not supposed to know who I am. I'm not supposed to contact you, Dante corrects. There's a difference. His voice is low, controlled. But he's not following protocol, and we both know registry rules can't actually stop anyone who's determined enough. You shouldn't be here. Probably not. But my son is alive because of you, and I needed to thank you in person. How is he? Maya asks, despite herself, despite protocol, despite common sense, despite everything. Fighting, Dante says. The transplant took. Your cells are engrafting. The doctors are cautiously optimistic. He has a long road ahead. But he has a road. That's because of you. I just donated bone marrow. You saved his life. Dante's intensity is almost frightening. There's something beneath his polished exterior. Something hard and dangerous that he's trying very hard to contain. Miss Torres, I don't know what you've been told about my family. What I should know? That we're grateful. That we don't forget debts. That when someone saves my son's life, they become important to me. That sounds ominous. It's not meant to. Dante pulls an envelope from his jacket pocket. The check we promised. For your expenses, plus a little extra, for your trouble. Maya takes the envelope, feels its weight. This is more than $4,000. Consider it a thank you. I can't accept this. You already have, Dante says. And before you argue, understand something. You gave my son a future. There's no amount of money that equals that. But money is what I have to offer. So I'm offering it. Take it. Pay your bills. Take a vacation. Whatever you need. He turns to leave, then pauses. One more thing. My wife and I would like to meet you. Properly. When Nico's strong enough, he talks about you constantly. His donor. The person who saved him. He's 7. He doesn't understand anonymity. He just knows someone out there gave him a chance to live, and he wants to say thank you. That's against registry policy. Fuck registry policy, Dante says, and there it is, the edge beneath, the polish. My son is alive. You did that. If you're willing, we'd be honored to have you in his life. In whatever capacity you're comfortable with. Maya should say no, should maintain boundaries, should follow the rules designed to protect both donors and recipients from complicated emotional entanglements. But she thinks about a 7-year-old boy who wants to thank her, who talks about his donor like she's a superhero. I'll think about it, she says. That's all I'm asking. Dante gives her a card. Simple, black, just a name and a phone number, when you're ready. Or if you ever need anything. Anything at all. You call that number. He leaves. Maya stands behind the register of Lou's diner, holding an envelope that's probably stuffed with more money than she makes in 2 months, and tries to process what just happened. Lou appears from the kitchen. Who was that? A customer, Maya says. He didn't order anything. He was just passing through. Lou grunts, returns to his domain. Maya opens the envelope in the bathroom during her break. $10,000. Her hands shake as she counts the bills. $10,000 for 2 weeks of discomfort and doing what any decent person would do. It feels wrong. It feels like salvation. She thinks about her overdue electric bill, her defaulted student loans, her rent that's due in 3 days. She thinks about Nico, about Dante's intensity when he said, "You saved my son," about the card in her pocket with a phone number that feels like an invitation and a warning simultaneously. Maya Torres has made a lot of questionable decisions in her 28 years, but as she stares at more money than she's seen in her entire life, she knows with absolute certainty that accepting it has just complicated everything in ways she can't begin to predict. Outside the bathroom, the diner continues its eternal rhythm. Orders called, plates clattering, the smell of coffee and frying eggs. But Maya's world has shifted. She saved a child's life. And now, that child's father is looking at her like she matters, like she's important, like she's more than just a tired woman working 2 jobs and barely surviving. She doesn't know what that means yet, but she's about to find out. Maya doesn't cash the check for 3 days. It sits on her kitchen counter, tucked back into its envelope, while she goes through the motions of her life. Work, sleep, work again. But the knowledge of it is always there, a weight in her peripheral vision. $10,000, enough to pay off her credit cards, cover rent for 6 months, fix the weird noise her car's been making, maybe even take a day off without calculating the cost in lost wages. On day 4, she takes it to the bank. The teller's eyes widen when she sees the amount. Big deposit today. Maya forces a smile. Gift from family. The money hits her account that afternoon. For the first time in 5 years, Maya Torres has a positive balance with 4 digits. It should feel liberating. Instead, it feels like she's accepted something she doesn't fully understand. Like she's signed a contract, written in invisible ink. 2 weeks pass. Maya works her shifts, pays her overdue bills, and tries not to think about Nico. Tries not to wonder if the engraftment is holding, if he's getting stronger, if her cells are doing their job. She's restocking syringes at Sacred Heart when her phone rings. Unknown number. Again. Hello? Miss Torres? It's Adriano Castellano. We spoke at the hospital. I remember. Maya steps into the supply closet for privacy. Is Nico okay? He's doing remarkably well. The doctors are very pleased. His counts are improving daily. That's good. I'm glad. My brother and his wife would like to extend an invitation. A pause. Tomorrow is Nico's 8th birthday. He's been asking about you constantly. His donor, his angel, he calls you. They'd like you to come to the party. If you're comfortable with that. Maya's first instinct is to refuse. Maintain boundaries. Keep this clean and impersonal. But then she thinks about a little boy who just survived cancer, who's celebrating a birthday he almost didn't reach, who thinks of her as his angel. What time? Maya hears herself ask. 2 in the afternoon. I'll text you the address. And Miss Torres? Thank you for considering this. It means more than you know. The address arrives 10 minutes later. Maya looks it up on her phone and feels her stomach drop. Lincoln Park. Not just Lincoln Park, but the part of Lincoln Park where homes start at $3 million and go up from there. The Castellano family isn't just wealthy. They're obscenely, impossibly, generationally wealthy. Maya stares at her closet the next morning with growing panic. Nothing she owns is appropriate for a birthday party in a Lincoln Park mansion. Her nicest dress is from Target. Her shoes are practical, worn. She looks like exactly what she is. A woman who works 2 jobs and shops at thrift stores. Jasmine arrives at noon with reinforcements. A dress borrowed from her cousin who works in corporate. Heels that almost fit. Enough makeup to make Maya look like she belongs in a different tax bracket. You look amazing, Jasmine says, stepping back to assess her work. I look like I'm playing dress up. You look like someone who saved a kid's life and deserves to be celebrated for it. Now go. And text me every detail. The Uber drops Maya off in front of a house that's less a home and more an estate. 3 stories of historic brick and limestone, with manicured gardens and iron gates that probably cost more than her car. 2 men in dark suits flank the entrance. Security. Actual security guards at a child's birthday party. Maya's hand trembles as she presses the intercom button. Name? A voice crackles through the speaker. Maya Torres. I'm here for Nico's party. The gates swing open silently. Maya walks up a stone pathway lined with autumn flowers, feeling more out of place with every step. The front door opens before she reaches it. A woman in her 60s, elegant in a simple black dress, smiles warmly. Miss Torres. Welcome. I'm Rosa, the house manager. The family is in the garden. Please, come in. The interior is exactly what Maya expected. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, art that's probably worth more than she'll earn in her lifetime. But it's also lived in. Family photos on the walls, a child's jacket hung on a hook, toys scattered near a doorway. Rosa leads her through the house to French doors that open onto a garden. And there, in the middle of what looks like a professional party setup complete with a bounce house and a magician, is Nico. He's small for 8, thin in the way children get when illness has taken too much from them. His hair is just growing back, dark fuzz covering his scalp. But he's laughing, running with other children, alive in a way that makes Maya's chest tighten. Dante spots her first. He's dressed casually today, jeans and a dark sweater, but he still radiates that same controlled intensity. He says something to the woman beside him, his wife presumably, and they both turn toward Maya. The woman is beautiful, late 30s, with dark hair and warm brown eyes. She crosses the garden with purpose, and Maya braces for polite distance. Instead, the woman pulls her into a fierce hug. "Thank you," she whispers. "Thank you for giving me my son back." "Mrs. Castellano, I just did what anyone would do." "No." The woman pulls back, her eyes bright with tears. "Not anyone. You. You saved him when we'd lost hope. I'm Gianna, by the way. And please, never be formal with me. You're family now." "Family." The word sits strangely. Maya barely knows these people. Nico hasn't noticed her yet. He's showing another child how to make the bounce house move in waves. But Dante calls to him, and the boy's head turns. His eyes, dark like his father's, land on Maya. For a moment, he just stares. Then he runs. Full speed, the way healthy children run. The way children who've been sick for too long run when they remember what it feels like to have energy. He crashes into Maya with enough force to make her stumble. "You're her," Nico says into her stomach, his arms wrapped around her waist. "You're my donor. I'm Maya. And yes, I'm your donor." He looks up at her, his face serious. "You saved my life. My mama said your cells are inside me now, making me strong." "That's right. How do you feel?" "Good. I feel good." He grins, and it transforms his entire face. "Want to see me do a backflip on the bounce house?" "Absolutely." Maya spends the next hour at a child's birthday party in a mansion, surrounded by people who live in a different world. But Nico treats her like she's the most important person there. He introduces her to his friends, shows her the gifts he's received, insists she sit next to him when they sing happy birthday. The other adults are polite but distant. They know who Maya is, the donor, and they regard her with a mixture of gratitude and curiosity. But there's something else in their glances, something careful, controlled, like they're weighing every word around her. Dante joins her as Nico tears into presence. His wife stayed close to their son, but Dante seems to have appointed himself Maya's handler. "He's doing well," Maya observes. "Better than I expected this soon after transplant. He's a fighter, always has been." Dante's voice carries pride and something darker. Pain, maybe? The memory of almost losing him. "You must have been terrified." Terror doesn't cover it. Dante looks at his son, and for a moment, the controlled facade cracks. Watching your child suffer and being unable to fix it, it destroys you. "We tried everything. Every treatment, every specialist. Nothing worked. Then you appeared in the registry, a perfect match, and suddenly we had hope again. I'm glad I could help." "You did more than help." Dante turns to face her fully. "Miss Torres, Maya, can I be honest with you? Please. My family is complicated. Our business, our connections. We exist in a world that's not always clean or legal. I'm telling you this because you deserve to know who we are before you get more involved in Nico's life." Maya's stomach drops. "What kind of business?" "Import, export, distribution." Dante's voice is neutral, but the words carry weight. "Mostly legitimate, some less so. We have interests that bring us into contact with people who don't always follow societal rules." "You're telling me you're criminals." "I'm telling you we operate in gray areas, and those gray areas sometimes create situations where knowing us can be complicated." "Why are you telling me this?" Maya's heart is pounding now. "Because Nico talks about you constantly. Because my wife wants you in our lives. Because you deserve to make an informed choice about whether that's something you want." Dante's eyes are intense, searching hers. "I won't lie to you. Being associated with my family comes with risks. But it also comes with protection. And if you choose to be part of Nico's life, you'll have both. This is insane. I donated bone marrow. That doesn't make me part of your family, doesn't it?" Dante asks quietly. "You gave my son life. In my world, that creates a bond that can't be broken." whether you want it or not. Maya, you matter to us now. The question is what you want to do about that. Maya looks across the garden to where Nico is showing his mother a new action figure. The boy glances over, catches her eye, and waves enthusiastically. Her heart twists. I need time to think about this. Of course, take all the time you need, but know that the invitation stands. You're welcome here. Always. The party winds down. Parents collect children. The magician packs up his tricks. Gianna finds Maya as she's preparing to leave. I hope Dante didn't scare you off, Gianna says with a knowing smile. He has a tendency to be intense about family. He was honest. I appreciate that. Good. Gianna takes Maya's hand. I meant what I said earlier. You're family now. And I'd love for you to be part of Nico's life, if you're willing. Not as a donor. As someone he cares about. Someone who matters to him. I'm not sure I understand what that means. Neither do I, honestly. Gianna laughs. We've never been in this situation before. But Nico lights up when he talks about you. He's been through hell, and you gave him his life back. Whatever relationship you're comfortable with, we'll support it. Can I think about it? Of course. Just know that you're always welcome here. Anytime. For any reason. The Uber ride home is a blur. Maya stares out the window at Chicago passing by, her mind racing. The Castellanos aren't just wealthy. They're connected to something darker. Gray areas, Dante said, which almost certainly means organized crime. She should run, should sever this connection before it gets more complicated. But she keeps seeing Nico's face, his joy when he hugged her, the way he called her his angel. Jasmine is waiting at Maya's apartment with wine and questions. So? How was it? Complicated, Maya says, collapsing onto her couch. The kid is amazing, sweet, happy, alive. His parents are terrifying. Terrifying how? The dad basically admitted they're criminals. Import, export, quote-unquote gray areas. Oh my God. Jasmine's eyes go wide. Are they like Mafia? He didn't use that word. But yeah, probably. And they just told you this? At a birthday party? The dad said I deserved to know before I got more involved. Maya rubs her face. Jas, I don't know what to do. That kid thinks I'm his hero. His mom wants me in their lives. But getting close to them means getting close to whatever illegal stuff they're into. So don't. You did a good thing. You saved a kid. That doesn't mean you have to become part of his family. I know. But when I look at Nico, when I see how happy he is, I can't just walk away. Then don't, Jasmine says simply. But be careful. These people sound dangerous. They are. Maya agrees. That's what makes this so complicated. 3 days later, Maya is working the morning shift at Lou's when 2 men in suits walk in. Not Dante, not Adriano. Different men. Younger, harder. They sit at the counter and order coffee. You Maya Torres? One of them asks. Who's asking? Friends of the Castellano family. We're here to deliver a message. Maya's blood runs cold. What message? The family appreciates your discretion regarding their personal matters. They wanted to make sure you understand how important privacy is to them. It sounds like a threat. Is it a threat? The second man smiles. It's not like that. Not friendly. It's insurance. You know things about the family now. They just want to make sure those things stay private. I haven't told anyone anything. Good. Keep it that way. The first man stands, drops a 20 on the counter. The Castellanos look after their own. But they also protect what's theirs. You're under their protection now. That's a good thing. As long as you remember whose side you're on. They leave. Maya stands behind the counter, her hands shaking, while Lou yells about an order from the kitchen. She pulls out her phone and texts the number Dante gave her. 2 men just came to the diner. They said, I'm under your protection. What the hell is going on? The response comes immediately. Where are you? Work. Lou's diner. Stay there. I'm coming. Dante arrives 20 minutes later with Adriano. They look furious. Dante's controlled intensity has given way to something darker, more dangerous. He speaks to Lou first, his voice carrying authority that makes the old man go pale. I'm taking Miss Torres for her break. She'll be back in 30 minutes. I didn't authorize a break. You are now. Dante's smile doesn't reach his eyes. Unless you'd like to discuss your health code violations with the city inspector I have on speed dial. Lou waves them away. Maya follows Dante and Adriano outside to a black SUV idling at the curb. Once inside, Dante turns to her. Describe the men. Early 30s. Dark suits. One had a scar on his chin. The other had a tattoo on his neck. Looked like a snake or something. Dante and Adriano exchange a look. Fuck, Adriano mutters. Who were they? Maya demands. Soldati from the Esposito family, Dante says. A rival organization. They shouldn't have known about you. Shouldn't have been able to find you. So much for privacy. Maya's fear is turning to anger. You said I'd be protected. Instead, I have men threatening me at my job. They weren't threatening you. Adriano's voice is calm, explanatory. They were testing us, seeing if we'd respond. It's a power play. Great. So I'm a pawn in your Mafia chess game. You're not a pawn, Dante says. Your family. And the Espositos just declared war by approaching you. I don't want to be in a war. I just wanted to save a kid's life. I know. And I'm sorry. Dante's voice softens. This is exactly what I was trying to warn you about. Our world has complications, but now that you're in it, you need protection. Real protection. What does that mean? It means we need to move you somewhere safe until this is resolved. Move me? I have a job. 2 jobs. An apartment. All of which can be compromised. Dante's intensity is back. Maya, the Espositos don't play games. If they think you're valuable to us, they'll use you as leverage. I can't let that happen. You can't let it happen? Maya's voice rises. You don't get to control my life because I saved your son. I'm not trying to control you. I'm trying to keep you alive. The words hang in the air. Maya stares at Dante, at the genuine concern in his eyes, and realizes he's serious. These people, whoever they are a real threat. How long? She asks quietly. Until we handle the situation. A few days, maybe a week. And if I refuse? Then you go home tonight, and I post guards outside your apartment. But you'll be a target every time you leave, every time you go to work, every time you step outside. Is that what you want? No. Maya closes her eyes. This is insane. My entire life is insane now. I know, and I take responsibility for that. But right now, we need to get you somewhere safe. What about my jobs? We'll handle it. Adriano is already on his phone. You'll be compensated for lost wages. Your employers will be told you have a family emergency. You can't just rearrange my life. Watch me, Dante says. It's not a threat. It's a promise. You saved my son. Now let me save you. Maya wants to argue, wants to refuse, wants to maintain some semblance of control over her own life. But she thinks about the men at the diner, their cold eyes, the implied threat beneath their polite words. Fine, she says. But only until this is resolved. Then I want my life back. Agreed. They take her to her apartment to pack. The guards Dante posts watch the building while she throws clothes into a duffel bag, grabs her laptop, her phone charger, the few things that matter. Jasmine texts. But Maya can't explain this. Not yet. Not until she understands it herself. The safe house is a condo in River North. Modern, secure, with guards posted discreetly in the lobby. Dante shows her around while Adriano does a security sweep. You'll be comfortable here, Dante says. Kitchen is fully stocked. There's a gym on the 3rd floor if you need to work out. Someone will be outside 24/7. How long has your family owned this place? We don't. I bought it this afternoon. You bought a condo? To keep me safe? Property is an investment, and you need somewhere secure. This solved both problems. Maya sinks onto the couch, overwhelmed. This is too much. All of this. Dante sits across from her, his posture careful. I know this isn't what you signed up for. You wanted to save a life and go back to your normal existence. But that's not possible anymore. The moment you became important to Nico, you became important to my family. And my enemies know that. What do they want? Leverage, power. The Espositos have been trying to move into our territory for months. Approaching you was a message. They're telling us they can reach the people we care about. So this is my life now? Hiding in safe houses while you fight some mob war? No, this is temporary. Once we handle the Esposito situation, you can go back to your life. With protection, but your life. And if you can't handle it, we will. Dante's certainty is absolute. I don't lose. Not when it comes to family. I'm not your family. You keep saying that. But you are. You're Nico's godmother, Maya. That makes you family whether you accept it or not. Godmother? Maya stares at him. I never agreed to that. Nico decided it last week. He was very firm about it. Dante's lips twitch into an almost smile. In our culture, a godparent is sacred, someone who protects and guides the child, someone who becomes part of the family in a way that's binding. Nico chose you. So did Gianna and I. You can't just assign me a role in your family. We didn't assign it, you earned it. Dante leans forward. Maya, I understand this is overwhelming, but you need to understand something about my world. When you save someone's life, when you give them back their future, that creates a debt that can never be fully repaid, but it also creates a bond. You're not an outsider anymore. You're one of us. I don't want to be one of you. Too late. You became one of us the moment your bone marrow entered my son's body. Now we just have to figure out what that means. Dante leaves her alone in the condo. Maya explores with growing surrealism. The place is immaculate, expensive furniture, a view of the city that probably costs more per month than she makes in a year. The fridge is stocked with organic produce and fancy cheeses she can't pronounce. She calls Jasmine from the bedroom. Where are you? Jasmine demands. You left work and disappeared. I'm fine. Family emergency. You don't have family in Chicago. It's complicated, Jas. I just need you to trust me. I'm safe. I'll be back in a few days. This is about that Mafia family, isn't it? I can't talk about it right now. But yes, it's about them. Maya, please tell me you're being careful. I'm trying. But careful isn't really an option anymore. Maya spends 3 days in the condo. She watches Netflix. She works out in the building gym. She eats food that's too expensive and tries not to think about the guards outside her door. Dante calls twice a day with updates. The situation is being handled. Stay put. Be patient. On day 4, Gianna visits. She arrives with shopping bags and a determined expression. I heard my husband has you locked up here, Gianna says, breezing into the condo. That's not acceptable. We're going out. Dante said, I need to stay here. Dante worries too much. Besides, I have guards. We'll be fine. Maya wants to argue, but the chance to leave the condo, even for a few hours, is too tempting. They go to a cafe in Wicker Park, a small place that Gianna says makes the best lattes in Chicago. The guards stay outside, watching through the windows. I'm sorry about all this, Gianna says once they're settled with drinks. Dante means well, but he's protective to the point of suffocation sometimes. He said, I'm Nico's godmother. You are. Gianna smiles. Nico insisted. He said you're his angel, and angels should be godmothers. We couldn't exactly argue with that logic. I don't know anything about being a godmother. Neither did I when I became one. You figure it out. Mostly it means loving the child and being present in their life. You already do the first part. I barely know Nico. You saved his life. That's knowing him in the most important way. Gianna's eyes are kind. Maya, I understand this is overwhelming. You didn't ask to be part of our family. But you are now, and I want you to know that means something. It means you're protected. It means you're valued. It means you'll always have a place with us, even though I'm not part of your world, especially because you're not. Gianna sets down her cup. Our world is complicated and sometimes dark. But you're light. You're someone who sees a person in need and helps without calculating the cost. That's rare. That's precious. And that's exactly what Nico needs in his life. What does he tell people? About his illness? The truth, mostly. He had leukemia. He got a transplant. He's recovering. But he talks about you like you're a superhero. His donor who saved him. He wants to be like you when he grows up. Maya's throat tightens. I'm not anyone special. You saved my son's life, Gianna says softly. To me, you're the most special person in the world. They talk for 2 hours. About Nico's recovery. About Gianna's life before Dante. About Maya's struggles and dreams. It's the most normal conversation Maya's had since the donation, and she finds herself liking Gianna. The woman is warm, genuine, nothing like Maya expected a mob wife to be. As they're leaving, Gianna pauses. I want you to know something. This situation with the Espositos, it's not your fault. And Dante will handle it. He always does. What exactly will he do? Gianna's smile doesn't quite reach her eyes. Whatever's necessary, that's all you need to know. That night, Maya lies in the expensive bed in her borrowed condo and tries to process everything. She saved a child. She became part of a crime family. She's under protection that feels like control. Her life has spun so far off course she can barely recognize it. Her phone rings at 2 a.m. Dante. "It's done," he says without preamble. "The Esposito situation is resolved." "What does that mean?" "It means you're safe. It means you can go home tomorrow if you want." "What did you do?" "What I had to." Dante's voice is flat. "You don't need details. You just need to know it's over. People got hurt, didn't they?" "Maya, tell me the truth." "Yes. People got hurt. People who threatened my family. Who threatened you. I handled it the way these things get handled in my world." Maya closes her eyes. "I helped kill people. Indirectly. You saved a child. Everything else is on me. Not you. Never you. That's not how it works." "That's exactly how it works." Dante's voice softens. "Maya, you're not responsible for my choices. You're not part of the darkness in my world. You're the good we're trying to protect. Don't confuse the two." They talk for another hour. About morality and consequences. About the gray areas Dante lives in and the black and white world Maya wants to believe exists. By the time they hang up, Maya doesn't have answers. Just more questions. She goes home the next day. Back to her apartment. Back to her life. But nothing is the same. There are men watching her building now. Discreet, but present. Lou treats her with new deference at the diner. Her manager at Sacred Heart gives her the good shifts without her asking. The Castellano family has woven itself into her life in ways she can't untangle. Nico calls her every Sunday. They talk about school, about his recovery, about the normal things in a child's life. He never mentions his father's business. To him, Maya is just his godmother, his angel, the person who saved him. Dante visits once a week, checking in, he says, making sure she's okay. They have coffee at the same cafe where Gianna took her. They talk about everything except the Esposito situation, except the violence that bought her safety. 1 month after the transplant, Maya gets a formal invitation. Thick cardstock, elegant script. "The Castellano family requests your presence at Nico's godparent ceremony." She goes, because how can she not? The ceremony is at the Castellanos' church, a beautiful old building in Little Italy. Nico stands between her and Dante's sister, the other godparent, while a priest speaks in Italian and English about sacred responsibility. Maya makes vows she doesn't fully understand, promises to guide Nico, to protect him, to be present in his life. When it's over, Nico hugs her so hard she can barely breathe. "Now it's official," he whispers. "You're really my godmother." "I really am," Maya whispers back. And she realizes, standing in that church with a child she barely knows and a family she doesn't fully understand, that she means it. Whatever complications come with the Castellanos, whatever darkness shadows their world, Nico is pure light, and she'll be there for him, even if it means accepting that her quiet, simple life is gone forever. 6 months after the godparent ceremony, Maya's life has settled into a strange new normal. She still works at Sacred Heart, but Lou's diner is behind her. Dante made that happen with a quiet conversation and a check that Lou couldn't refuse. Maya told herself she'd find another second job, but Dante deposits money into her account every month. "For Nico," he says, "godmother expenses." She doesn't argue anymore. The bills get paid. She sleeps more than 4 hours a night. And every Sunday, she has dinner at the Castellano house, where Nico shows her his homework, and Gianna treats her like a sister. Dante is always there, always watching with those dark, intense eyes. They've become friends, she thinks, or something like it. They talk about books, about Chicago, about everything except the business that funds his lifestyle. Maya knows better than to ask. Some doors are better left closed. But tonight, standing in her apartment at 11 p.m., while someone pounds on her door hard enough to rattle the frame, Maya realizes those doors are about to be kicked wide open. She checks the peephole. 2 men she doesn't recognize, not the usual guards Dante posts. These men look wrong, desperate, dangerous. "Maya Torres," one shouts through the door. "We know you're in there. Open up or we break it down." Her hands shake as she pulls out her phone and calls Dante. He answers on the first ring. "Maya? What's wrong?" There are men outside my door. They're not yours. She hears something crash in the background. Shouting. Gunfire. Her blood turns to ice. Dante? What's happening? Listen to me very carefully. Dante's voice is steel wrapped in urgency. Those men are Bratva, Russian, mob. They're hitting multiple locations tonight. I'm dealing with an attack at the warehouse. Adriano is pinned down at the club. I can't get to you. The pounding on her door intensifies. What do I do? Maya's voice cracks. Is your bedroom window accessible from the fire escape? Yes. Go. Now. There's a car waiting 2 blocks north on Webster. Black SUV. The driver's name is Marco. He'll take you to a secondary location. Don't stop. Don't look back. Just run. Dante, I'm scared. I know. His voice softens for just a second. I'm sorry, Maya. This is my fault. But you need to move. Now. The door splinters. They're using something heavy. A battering ram, maybe. Maya drops the phone and runs to her bedroom. She throws open the window, cold October air hitting her face as she climbs onto the fire escape. Behind her, the apartment door crashes open. Heavy footsteps. Russian voices. Harsh and urgent. Maya scrambles down the metal stairs, her hands slipping on the cold rungs. 2 flights. 3. She hits the alley and runs, her heart hammering so hard she can barely breathe. Footsteps behind her. Close. Getting closer. She bursts onto Webster Avenue, scanning desperately for a black SUV. There. 2 blocks north, just like Dante said. She sprints toward it, her lungs burning. A hand grabs her jacket. Maya screams, twists, brings her elbow back the way a self-defense instructor taught her once. Connects with something soft. The grip loosens. She runs harder. The SUV's door opens. A man, late 50s, scarred and solid, reaches out. Maya Torres? Get in. Now. She doesn't think. Just throws herself into the vehicle. Marco guns the engine before she's even closed the door. The SUV peels out as 2 men round the corner behind them, raising weapons. Get down, Marco barks. Maya drops to the floor as the back window explodes. Safety glass rains down. Marco takes a corner at 60 miles an hour, tires screaming. They're following, Marco says into a phone. 2 vehicles. I need backup at the safe house. He listens. Understood. Where are we going? Maya asks from the floor, her voice shaking. Somewhere they won't find you. Stay down. The next 20 minutes are a blur of screeching tires and adrenaline. Maya keeps her head down, her hands pressed against her ears, trying not to think about the fact that people are shooting at her. Actually shooting, with real bullets. Finally, the car stops. Marco opens her door. We're clear. Come on. They're in a parking garage, underground. Gray concrete and fluorescent lights. Marco leads her to an elevator, punches in a code. The ride up is silent, except for Maya's ragged breathing. The elevator opens into a penthouse, all glass and steel, with views of the city that would be beautiful if Maya could focus on anything other than her racing heart. Dante bursts through the door 5 minutes later. He's disheveled, his jacket torn, blood on his collar. Not his blood, Maya realizes with a sick lurch. Someone else's. He crosses the room and pulls her into his arms before she can speak. Are you hurt? His hands move over her, checking for injuries. Did they touch you? I'm fine. Shaken, but fine. She pulls back to look at him. What the hell is happening? The Bratva. They're making a move on our territory. Coordinated attacks across the city. Dante's jaw is tight. They went after our businesses, our people, and they went after you. Why me? Because they know you matter. To Nico, to Gianna, to me. Dante's eyes are blazing. Going after you was meant to send a message that no one in my family is safe. I'm not in your family. Not really. Yes, you are. And that makes you a target. Maya sinks onto a couch, her legs finally giving out. This is insane. I'm a nursing assistant. I work at a children's hospital. I'm not part of mob wars. You became part of one the moment you saved my son. Dante sits beside her, close enough that she can feel the tension radiating off him. I'm sorry, Maya. I tried to keep you separate from the worst of it. But the Bratva doesn't care about boundaries. What happens now? Now I end this. Dante's voice is cold, final. They attacked my family. They threatened my son's godmother. That's not something I forgive. You're going to kill people. Yes. The simplicity of his answer is terrifying. I'm going to kill the men who came after you. And I'm going to send a message to the Bratva that they made a mistake. Maya should be horrified, should argue, should tell him violence isn't the answer. But she thinks about the men breaking down her door, about Marco pulling her into the SUV while bullets shattered the window, about the fact that she could have died tonight. How long do I have to stay here? She asks quietly. Until it's safe. A few days, maybe a week. And then what? I just go back to my life? Pretend this didn't happen? I don't know. Dante runs a hand through his hair. I don't have good answers right now, Maya. I just know I need you safe while I handle this. Gianna arrives an hour later with Nico. The boy is in pajamas, half asleep, clutching a stuffed tiger. When he sees Maya, his face lights up. Maya! Mama said you're having a sleepover with us. That's right, buddy. Maya manages a smile as he climbs onto the couch beside her. Surprise sleepover. This place is cool. Nico looks around with wide eyes. It's like a secret hideout. Something like that. Gianna meets Maya's eyes over Nico's head. The gratitude there is palpable. Thank you for being okay, she mouths. They put Nico to bed in one of the penthouse bedrooms. He insists Maya stay until he falls asleep, so she sits on the edge of his bed while he tells her about school, about his science project, about the normal concerns of an 8-year-old boy who has no idea men tried to hurt his godmother tonight. I'm glad you're here, Nico says drowsily. I like when you stay over. Me too, kiddo. When she emerges, Gianna is in the kitchen making tea. She hands Maya a cup without asking if she wants one. Dante told me what happened. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. It's our life. Our choices. Gianna's voice is tired. You didn't ask for any of this. No, but I knew what I was getting into. Maya sips the tea. Sort of. Did you? Gianna studies her. Or did you just see a sick child and want to help? Both. Maybe. They sit in silence for a while. Through the windows, Chicago sparkles like nothing terrible happened tonight. Like people aren't fighting wars in the shadows while the city sleeps. Can I ask you something? Maya says. How do you live with it, knowing Dante does the things he does? I remind myself why he does them. To protect our family, to keep our son safe, to maintain order in a world that would be chaos without someone willing to make hard choices. Gianna meets her eyes. I won't pretend it's easy, but I love him, and I trust that he only uses violence when there's no other option. And tonight, was there another option? No. The Bratva drew first blood. If Dante doesn't respond, we look weak. Other families would see it as an opportunity. More violence would follow. Gianna's voice is matter of fact. It's brutal logic, but it's the logic of our world. Maya wants to argue, wants to believe there's always another way. But she's too tired, too shaken, to debate philosophy. Dante finds her on the balcony an hour later. She's wrapped in a blanket, staring at the city, trying to process everything. Can't sleep? He asks. Can't stop thinking. Maya doesn't look at him. About how close I came to dying tonight. About how this is my life now. About how I can never go back to being just a nursing assistant who saved a kid's life. Do you want to go back? I don't know. She turns to face him. What I want doesn't seem to matter much anymore. Your world doesn't care about what I want. That's not true. Dante's voice is rough. I care about what you want. I've been trying to give you as much normal as possible. But tonight showed me that's not realistic anymore. As long as you're connected to my family, you'll be a target. The only question is whether you want to accept that and let me protect you properly, or if you want to walk away. Can I walk away, even if I wanted to? Honestly, I don't know. Dante's honesty is brutal. The Bratva knows about you now. Other families will find out. Your connection to Nico isn't a secret. You could disappear, change your name, start over somewhere else, but you'd always be looking over your shoulder. So I'm trapped. You're protected. There's a difference. Is there? Maya's voice breaks. Because it feels the same from where I'm standing. Dante is silent for a long moment. Then he does something unexpected. He reaches out and takes her hand. I'm sorry. Truly. You didn't deserve to be dragged into this. But you're here now, and I will do everything in my power to keep you safe. Not because you owe me, not because of some debt, because you matter. To Nico, to Gianna, to me. The last two words hang in the air. Maya stares at him. Dante, I don't. Not yet. Dante squeezes her hand once, then releases it. Tonight isn't the time for this conversation. Tonight you need rest. Tomorrow we can figure out what comes next. He leaves her on the balcony with her thoughts and the city lights and the knowledge that everything has changed again. That whatever safety she thought she'd found in the Castellano family was always an illusion. But as she stands there, wrapped in a blanket in a penthouse that costs more than she'll earn in her lifetime, Maya realizes something else. She's not afraid of Dante. She's afraid of how much she's starting to trust him, how much she's starting to care, and in a world as dangerous as his, caring might be the most terrifying thing of all. Inside, she can hear Gianna moving around, Nico's soft breathing from the bedroom, the low murmur of Dante on the phone coordinating whatever response he's planning. This strange, violent, fiercely loyal family that has claimed her as their own. Maya closes her eyes and makes a choice. She's not running, not because she can't, but because somewhere along the way, between bone marrow donations and birthday parties and Sunday dinners, these people became her family too. Even if that family comes with bullets and blood and men breaking down her door in the middle of the night, she walks back inside, closes the balcony door, and goes to check on Nico one more time. The boy sleeps peacefully, his stuffed tiger tucked under one arm. Innocent, safe, alive because of her. That's what matters. Not the danger, not the moral complications. Just this child who gets to grow up because she was a match when it mattered most. Maya can live with the rest. She'll have to. 3 days later, Dante's men locate the Bratva safe house. Maya insists on going despite everyone's protests. They have Nico's medical records, stolen files they're using as leverage. She won't let them use her godson as a bargaining chip. The confrontation happens fast. Dante's team moves through the building like a surgical strike. Maya stays in the SUV with Marco until Dante gives the all-clear. When she enters, it's over. The Bratva lieutenant sits zip-tied to a chair, blood streaming from his nose. She walks straight to him, channeling every ounce of protective fury. You came after a child's medical information. An 8-year-old cancer survivor. What kind of monster does that? The man spits blood. Business. Wrong answer. Maya turns to Dante. Get the files. Burn everything else. Dante's smile is razor-sharp. Already done. The ride back is silent. Maya's hands shake with leftover adrenaline. Dante finally speaks. You didn't have to come. Yes, I did. He's my godson. Something shifts in Dante's expression. Understanding. Respect. Something deeper. 2 weeks later, the Bratva retreats from Chicago. The message was clear. The Castellano family protects its own. Maya returns to her apartment, now with upgraded security and permanent guards. Life normalizes again, but different. Dante visits more often. Their coffee dates become dinners. Conversations stretch late into the evening. They don't talk about the violence, but they don't avoid it either. He's honest about his world, and she's honest about her struggles accepting it. 3 months after the Bratva attack, Dante takes her to dinner at a restaurant he owns. Private room, candlelight. Her heart pounds. I need to tell you something, he says. When those men broke into your apartment, when I couldn't get to you immediately, I realized something. You're not just Nico's godmother. You're not just family by obligation. You matter to me, Maya. More than I should probably admit. Dante, your world is complicated. I know, but you're already in it. The question is whether you want to be in it with me. Maya thinks about bone marrow and birthday parties, about bullets and blood, about a little boy who calls her his angel and a man who looks at her like she's his salvation. Yes, she says. I do. The kiss is soft, careful, like they're both afraid of breaking something precious. 1 year later, Maya stands in the Castellano garden watching Nico play soccer, now 9, and healthy and strong. Dante's arms wrap around her from behind. Happy? He asks. She thinks about her nursing degree, finally completed with Dante's support. About Sunday dinners and protected freedom. About loving a complicated man in a dangerous world. Happier than I ever expected, she says. And it's true. This isn't the life she planned, but it's hers. A family built on bone marrow and choice, on violence and love, on a nursing assistant who saved a boy and found herself saved in return. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you loved this story, check out the other videos on your screen now. I think you'll really enjoy them. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next story.